Damon Fordham, adjunct professor of history at the Citadel Military College here in Charleston, South Carolina, and I'm here to talk about an icon in this area by the name of Mr. Phillip Simmons. Mr. Phillip Simmons was born in Daniel Island, South Carolina, in Berkeley County. And as a young man, his parents wanted him to get a good education, so they moved to downtown Charleston, where he enrolled at Buste Elementary School, across from Mother Emanuel AME Church, around 1920 or so. And unfortunately, like many black boys of his era, he had to quit school early, around 1925, at the age of 13, in order to help support his family. So he walked by the blacksmith shop one day of Mr. Peter Simmons, of no relation, who was born in slavery and was a blacksmith from that period. And his father, and Peter's father, Guy, was also a blacksmith during slavery, and it's believed he was descended from the iron workers of the Mandinka people in Gambia, who were a lot of them were into iron working. And he was known for making designs similar to the Sankofa symbol, which many believe may have accounted for his ancestry. But anyway, Guy passed it to Peter, and Peter passed it to the unrelated young Phillip Simmons, who was his mentee and protege. They were soon making iron gates for the wealthy white people of Charleston for the most part, and some of the more wealthy African Americans. And they were known for that fancy little Sankofa symbol design within the artwork. And by 1955, Peter Simmons died, and Phillip took over the business. Phillip became renowned through PBS and the National Geographic and various television appearances for being one of the last major practicing blacksmiths in America. And he was awarded, too, for his work by President Ronald Reagan. And once when I was over at his house, I noticed a picture of President Reagan, and I asked him about that, and he just casually said, "Oh, the president gave me an award that time," and continued with what he was talking about earlier, which says a lot about his humility. Well, one of my best memories of him was around 1998. I took a group of students who were around 12 years old from a local elementary school to meet him. And he had them enthralled with both his storytelling and while he was beating the iron on his anvil to create little artwork, especially for the children, as a matter of fact. So one 12-year-old girl asked Mr. Simmons, "Mr. Simmons, how long did it take you to learn to be a blacksmith?" And he replied, "I'm still learning. That's what life is all about." Mind you, Mr. Simmons was at that time in his late 80s, and yet he said he was still learning his craft. And that was one of the things that inspired me about him before he died in 2009 at the age of 97. And this serves as a lesson for a lot of young people right now. You know, when people hear me speak and I go places, sometimes people say, "Wow, you sound woke." And I said, no. I don't get down with that woke business. I'm not a conservative either, for that matter. But you see, I look at it like this. If you go around saying, I'm a good person, I'm a smart person, people will think you're arrogant, right? So why is going around saying that your conscience or woke any different? No. I'll never get to that point. What any person of any intelligence understands is that while you may be a teacher by profession, you're always going to be a student of life, as Mr. Simmons understood when he was basically at the top of his game in his 80s and 90s. So let that be a lesson in humility regarding the great Mr. Phillip Simmons. This is Damon Fordham.